we've got this typical South Carolina muggy, humid crap. But we've got an exciting video. Y'all saw a little bit in the intro. We're talking about thermal. Full disclosure, I've got zero experience with thermal other than looking through 2 units at SHOT Show this year on the show floor, and the last week or so with this unit. That all of this footage that y'all are gonna watch, it's compiled of, you know, my very first experiences with it. So I'm gonna hopefully be answering some of your questions. There's questions that I had about thermal, having zero experience with it. Now, just to go ahead and put it out on the table, I did get sent this optic by DNT halfway by my request. I requested this optic specifically, and they agreed to it. And because I wanted to answer a lot of the questions that I had with thermal, the reason I requested this specific optic is it is more of an entry-level optic, in the sense of it doesn't come with a huge price tag comparatively to some other units. It is also a 3-in-1 unit, so it can be used as a dedicated optic, as a clip-on, or as a handheld scanner. So what that's done is allowed me to run it in the 3 different capacities that thermal is used typically, and try to figure out how I enjoy using thermal. That way, if I do upgrade at some point in the future, I've got an understanding of how I actually like to use it, and that will help me guide my purchase for another unit. Being able to use it in all 3 capacities is super cool. But again, I just wanted to put that on the table, that DNT did send me this optic for this video and future videos as well. Now, my problem with the whole government TikTok ban thing is not necessarily that they're banning TikTok. My problem is they're claiming to do it because they're mining my data as well as yours, while simultaneously all the other companies out there that you are using their services and using their sites, they're mining your data as well, and the government is doing nothing about it. That's why I'm thankful for Aura, because while the government's not doing anything about it, Aura is. What Aura does, they constantly search the internet 24/7 for any of my information that might pop up and end up in the wrong hands. That goes for spammers, scammers, hackers, social media campaigners, anybody that might want to steal my identity and either use it for personal gain or sell it to somebody else. That's also going to cut down on all the pesky spam callers and hackers and crap that are constantly in your inboxes and on your cell phone. While I take my personal protection very seriously, the last thing that I want to worry about when I'm trying to do my work and pleasure on these devices is about my safety. So I just got to make the decision to sign up for Aura, and they're going to do all the stuff that I don't really want to do to make sure I stay safe online. They're going to constantly search the internet for all that kind of stuff. They've also got parental control for you parents out there. They've got credit checks and all kinds of awesome online services. Now, if you want to access all of these benefits, I'm talking full membership benefits, you can go to aura.com/overalls. That'll give you 2 weeks free trial, no charge to you, completely free, like that, $0, completely free. But you get access to full membership benefits. Again, that's aura.com/overalls. You can also use the QR code right there, or you can use the QR code that is right here in one of the bottom corners, or use the link that is in the description. Again, that's aura.com/overalls. 2-week free trial, full membership benefits. Make sure you stay safe online. As I stated before this optic, I have zero experience with thermal, and from having this optic and filming this video, I've got about a week and a half experience with thermal. So my experience is very limited, and I'm probably not the guy to be listening to in terms of what thermal optic to buy, because this is my only experience with it. So let's go ahead and talk about the optic specifically. It is the DNT Hydra HS325. So it's got a 384 sensor in it. What that means is it's the middle resolution basically in terms of thermal. So you've got one resolution that is worse than this, one resolution that is better than this on average. Again, this is a 384 resolution. What that is the clarity of the picture, because this is a digital device, so you're actually looking at a screen inside the device, and so the resolution is just basically how many megapixels are there, which means how much detail are you getting. The more megapixels you've got means the smaller the megapixels are, so when you zoom in on it, you can zoom in further without seeing those megapixels. Medium resolution, where I'm at right here in South Carolina, the resolution has not been an issue. Very first night I opened it up, got it charged up, and I started scanning around the house. I live out here in the country, so we've got deer everywhere. And right here, what you're seeing, those deer are about 120 yards through the trees. And obviously, you know, as you can tell just as well as I can, very obvious that those are deer. Sure, you might be able to pick up some megapixels. As I start zooming in, it starts to get a little bit pixelated, but I would have felt very confident, you know, taking a shot per se on those, not deer because that's illegal at night, but on other animals, you know, it's plenty clear enough for anything that I should be doing around here in South Carolina. Now going over some of the features, as I said, 384 sensor, 3-in-1, so it can be used as a clip-on, as a dedicated, or as a handheld. I've got this one mounted up on an ADM, American Defense Manufacturing QD mount. Now DNT did send the mount as well. Highly recommend going this route if you want to use it in all three capacities. It does ship in a very nice case, you know, with all your instructions and whatnot, and it ships with basically a reverse cantilever fixed mount if you want to run it as a dedicated optic. Highly recommend getting a QD mount. What this allows me to do is I can clip it on, so on bolt guns and whatnot, if you run this mount in the on the forward position, and then you mount it on the rearwardmost Picatinny slot, it actually gives you enough eye relief, so you don't have to use that reverse cantilever mount. That's not going to be the case if you're running it as a dedicated optic on an AR. You are going to need to run that reverse cantilever mount. But this ADM mount allows me to clip it onto here. I can very easily click it off, use it as a handheld scanner. I can pop off this cup right here for this case, and I can clip it on, you know, as a clip-on device in front of my red dot and use it that way as well. Clip it in front of an LPVO, clip it in front of whatever optic you're using. I will say that if you are clipping it in front of a magnified optic to use it as a clip-on, you're going to want something no more than 3 power. I really prefer to run this in front of an LPVO as far as a clip-on device, because I like having that 1 power, and I will just use the optic itself to zoom, because it does have a digital zoom in there. So while we're talking about that, it is on lowest power, it's 2 power, then you've got 2, 4, 6, and 8 power digital zoom inside of here. Multiple reticle settings, including you can delete the reticle if you just want to use it as a handheld scanner or as a clip-on. Then you can delete that reticle, but if you're using it as a dedicated optic, turn the reticle on. You can change the reticle colors. You can change the reticle, you know, the actual reticle itself. You've got multiple color displays in there. So you've got white hot, black hot, red hot, and then I think it's amber hot or iron hot. That's something like that. So it's more of like your purples and pinks and yellows and oranges. You use that. I prefer to use black hot. It just looks best to me. Over here on the side, you do have a USB port. So what that allows you to do is connect it to a power bank. Where that will be really handy is if you are setting this up, you know, maybe on a tripod, and you're using it as like a reconnaissance device, Overwatch. Then you could hook this up to a power bank, and you can keep that thing running all night and day long. You've also got your battery compartment over here. So this takes a 18650 battery. So I've got that popped in there. This USB port also allows you to pull footage directly from it via a USB-C cable, or what's really cool is, since this is an electronic device, DNT has actually got an app out, so you can connect the app to this device. You can do a live viewing of everything that the optic's seeing. You can also view and download your footage directly from the app straight to your phone. If you don't want to go that route, you do have the USB-C cord though as well. Settings on it are super easy. It's a 4-button system, with one of those buttons just being the power button. So really all of your controls are with 3 buttons. That's going to be to get to your menu to access all of the you know, the Wi-Fi features, the reticle, the display, whether we're talking colors, or your magnification on there. Super simple. You've got a record button on there, so you can record everything through this device, which is super awesome for us who like to record our kills, record our shooting, and post it online for all of our friends to see. You've got this rubber cap back here that I talked about. I pop off if I'm running in front of this red dot. What that allows you to do is just get a really comfortable, you know, if you're using it as a handheld device, it's really comfortable to hold that, and it keeps you at the proper eye relief, because if you don't have that, it can be a little bit tricky trying to find that eye relief. I also like to leave this on if I'm using it as a clip-on device in front of an LPVO, and I'll actually take the objective lens of the LPVO and run it just on the inside of that. What that does is keeps debris from getting in between the lenses. It also keeps any glare from getting on the objective lens of the optic itself. But if you want to pop it off, it literally just pops right off, and there you have it. Something I've opted to do is get some extra batteries. So I just keep this battery pack right here in my pack, and it is these 18650 batteries. These are rechargeable ones, so I can keep 4 of them, and I just go ahead, plug this into the wall, charge all the batteries. When I'm going out for the night, I just drop this in my pack, and I've got 4 batteries to keep this thing running all night long, and that should be more than enough. So one of the questions that I had about thermal getting into it was, how sensitive is it? I don't really understand it still. I was pulling it out, and as you can see, as you'll see in some of the shooting footage, that depending on the target color, they glow. I don't know if glow is the right word, but they're easier to see. So a darker target is easier to see. It's like when I was looking at the windshields of cars, I could actually see the reflections in the windshields. And I can't imagine that the temperature difference is enough, but that's just really, really wild to me. It's been really, really fun to see to experience what can I see, what can I not see with thermal. And if you're wondering just how sensitive this device is, well, here's a bumblebee flying around in broad daylight, like middle of the day, and this is a bumblebee, and this device was able to actually pick it up flying around. So the sensitivity of this device is wild. To be able to pick up a bug flying around in the air is pretty crazy. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into some of the shooting footage. So now the rifle that I'm using is my Ruger American Ranch. This is chambered in 300 blackout. Let's get this bad boy turned on. I've obviously mounted up on a 2-veg tripod. I've got a C3. This is the Shush Puppy on the end. Full titanium, full auto rated suppressor. Really, really cool can. Keep things moderately quiet, but I'm shooting supersonics through here. Let's get this focused. So this unit does have 2 focuses. It's got one on the the ocular lens, one on the objective. So it helps you get it really focused in there. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and hit record. All right, so now that we're recording, now as you can see here, it's not even dark out here, but that makes no difference with thermal, because we're talking heat signatures. So you can see, as far as the focus goes, let's see, get it dialed in there. All right, now I'm running black hot, as I mentioned I enjoy, but let's scan through them. So you've got red hot right there. You've got iron hot, white hot, that looks really good as well, and then black hot. I'm running black hot, as I mentioned, and then I've got just the standard reticle. That's what was like the default reticle was that came in there. Now I'm running it white, but you can change that color as well. We won't go into that in the settings on this video. So I did just kind of do a bore sight on this thing, so hopefully we're moderately zeroed. Let's go ahead and take a shot. Yeah, we're zeroed enough. Now I'm shooting supersonics out of here, so it's not as quiet as subs, obviously. Let's see where I'm hitting. Again, I just bore sighted this, so all right, I think we're hitting to the right. There we are. All right, let's see. We got about a 70-yard target right there. Laid it down. All right, let's see if I can catch one of them further targets. All right, we got a little bitty piece of steel right up here. I can't see that good. All right, we'll just keep pounding this one. Shout out to TA Targets. Oh, that's a miss. Now, that shadow you see at the bottom of the screen, now that's my suppressor, because the suppressor is heating up. So for you that might be wondering, yes, that does make a little bit of difference, and you do have that shadow popping up. All right, let's go ahead and stop the recording. We will get this magazine loaded back up, and then we'll shoot it a little bit more. Now, one thing that I was not sure of was going to be zero in this thing. It was actually incredibly easy. They've actually got it to where, so I locked it in the tripod. I got a bore sight through my bore, and then moved the reticle. What's really cool though is you can lock it in place, and then you can actually freeze the frame and the optic, and then make your adjustment there. That way, you know, you don't have a bunch of wobble and you're trying to chase it. So you can actually freeze it and then make your correction, and you'll be good to go. Did I put one in here? No. All right. So now I'm going to let you see the different like magnifications. So we can hold it in. We can adjust the brightness level, as you can see there. Let's see. That's the wrong thing. All right. There we are. All right, so you can see we can zoom in, and then let's try to adjust the focus some. So now you can see on the 8 power, you don't have great visibility. You know, that's where you're going to really start seeing the pixels. Let's see, that's a little bit clear. If this was like an actual living thing, obviously the signature would be much better, but we're shooting pieces of steel. I'm actually amazed at you know, what we're actually able to see on the steel targets, you know, the different temperature right there. Try shooting at 4 power. I don't think we can see that far target. It's right up here. Now, if you didn't know where it was, you definitely wouldn't be able to see it. Oh, that was the last round. But you can kind of see a little spot right there. Anyways. All right, let's get it back on 2 power. So as you can see, there's no problem. The clarity through it's great, especially at 2 power. You know, so anything, you know, if you're shooting in a 100-yard field, you shouldn't have any problems. Now we're going to pop it off of here, and we'll throw it on the Luke 12 Mod 5 as a clip-on. It's as simple as popping it off of there. We'll pop the rifle off of here, and we'll just move everything over. Let's get this locked in. Locked in there. And that's the beauty of QD mounts and a clip-on thermal. Well, funny enough, as I was talking about, you know, hooking up a power bank to your thermal, I'm actually going to do that with my trigger cam, because it, well, it was dead, and I want y'all to see through it. So let's go ahead and just kind of coil this around, and then we'll tape it. All right, let's just sit up there. Let's have some best friend tape. Let's take, we'll just tape it right there to the top. Let's take one more piece. This is a pretty fancy setup, but good reminder that when you're dealing with electronics, you need ways to keep them running. All right, so let's see if we can get this thing on now. Hopefully, because I want y'all to see through here. So it's awesome. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is let's go into settings, and let's remove the reticle. We'll put it in clip-on mode. All right, I'm actually gonna have to pop it off for this. because I cannot see the full screen. Let's see, what if I bump it forward? Can you see it then? Might be able to see that. Yeah, there we go. All right, so clip-on mode. All right, now it's in clip-on mode, so I just now removed the reticle. There we go, that looks better anyways. Sweet. All right, let's get this magazine loaded up, and then we'll take a couple shots. Alrighty, now they claim that when it's in clip-on mode, that it retains zero, very well. So we're gonna put that to the test. This optic is zeroed, and we'll find out how well it actually retains its zero. That's pretty solid. Alright, so as long as we hold right side, we're good. So all those are misses. Alright, let's see where we're at. Now they claim that when it's in clip-on mode that your zero shouldn't be shifted too much at all. Let's test it out. Alright. That was a miss. Alright, so it looks like we're hitting, I think, low right. I don't know, I'm struggling to get that one out there. But 50 yards, we're still on very well. Alrighty, let's see. Yeah, I think low right. Yep. Alright, so we're not holding zero great, and I'm pretty sure this optic has got a good zero. Let's check it though. So now we're gonna check the zero and see maybe the optic has been bumped since I last zeroed it. So we'll go ahead and we'll pop the thermal off. Let's pop that off and let's check it. Yeah, so we're hitting there, holding that on. Throw the thermal. We seem to be losing zero a little bit. Yeah, so that's noted. That's definitely, so that's something that you should be aware of. Is the zero might shift some. It's good to know when it's in clip-on mode. So we'll try to figure that one out. So all right. So since we aren't holding zero too well as a clip-on, I'm gonna pop it off, and then we will pop off the rifle. While that's still charging, we'll let that do its thing. Let's throw the 300 blackout back on there and clip it up. Incredibly modular, that's fun. All right. Let's load up this magazine, and I've got something that I want to test out. I think should work pretty well. Might be something y'all can try if y'all have got thermal. Now I know this video is not super informative. I literally just want y'all to kind of see my experiences using this device. Basically, using thermal for the first time. It's getting dark, and that thermal keeps on kicking. Super cool. Super cool. Alright, so let's set that there. Let's open the bolt, turn to the side, because we do need to walk down range. Okay, so what I'm doing is I've got some water bottles full of boiling water. I'm going to set these up, and we're going to shoot them. this might be an option if you do have thermal. We're going to test out and see how good it works. The temperature of these water bottles is much hotter than the air or the ground. So we're going to set these up. And again, if you've got thermal, this might be a good option, something for you to try. So let's set them up strategically in a few different locations. Let's see. We'll set one up right here, one down here. Take and set one down here at 70 yards. And we've got a 100-yard water bottle. Let's run back up to the hill and see how this looks. Check this out. So for you people that's got thermal, really cool option. You can see how, you know, how bright these things are glowing. So we've got one there, we've got one there, one right out there, and then I can't see the other one from this angle. But if we move, there it is. Benefit of thermal, man. There it is. Yeah, these puppies can't hide, boy. Look at that. I love thermal, guys. I think I'm addicted to it now. Let's take a look at it through the different colors. All right, so now you can see they're glowing red. There it is popping up. Right there. There's white hot. I just think that the black hot looks best. Y'all let me know what y'all think. All right, let's see if we can hit them. If I remember right, we've got to hold a little bit to the right. A little bit too much. Oh, we dropped it. Can't seem to hit it. All right, I think I got it on this one. Oh, right next to it. There we are. All right, is that last round? All right, now that I've got my hold, all right, let's see if we can hit the rest of these jokers. A little down, a little left. We ain't gonna waste no more time on that one. I can't hardly see it. Let's see if we can hit that 100-yard. He down. Oh, where are you at, pup? There you are. Ooh, boy. Check that out. Ain't that cool? That's super cool, dude. So as you can see with this device, super awesome results as far as what you're actually seeing through here. Obviously, I didn't have a good zero. That was just quick bore sights through the optics. I'm still not sure what was going on with it as a clip-on in front of the LPVO. Not sure why my zero shifted. I don't know if that was user error or if that was something to do with the device, maybe that I just don't understand fully. Definitely need to get that figured out. But after having a little bit of experience on this device, a little bit of experience now with thermal, you know, shooting it in different capacities, one way that I really enjoy using this is actually just as a handheld device. I love having this thing as a handheld device. It's so much fun, even if people aren't into like hunting and shooting and whatnot. Handing them this thing and telling them to look around, you know, maybe at a deer that's at 100 yards, that's in the pitch black that you never see with your naked eye, or just telling them to look at you through the thermal. It's really funny. Everybody gets to laugh because it's wild what this is. It's almost like, it's literally, it's like having a superpower. So one way that I'm really looking forward to using this thing specifically is actually during deer season. Now, before you green pants hop in the comments, I don't mean to actually shoot deer with. I prefer to bow hunt with traditional archery equipment, and I know this is very far from traditional archery equipment, but I'm really looking forward to maybe on those long walks in when I don't want to bump the deer, being able to take this thing, pick it up, scan, and then I'll know, you know, is my path clear? Am I clear to move forward? And being able to just have good idea of my surroundings, you know, as I'm walking in the dark, because this is the way that you're going to see things that you would otherwise have absolutely zero chance of seeing. I am obviously looking forward to running this thing at night on predators and hogs. I've got my Fox Pro up at the house, so I do hope to have some of that content out in the future. If you're a hog hunter, predator hunting, especially in the southeast, hit me up. Let's do some content together. Would love to take down some animals with this new superpower that I have. If you've got any questions in terms of thermal or this device specifically, something I didn't answer, please let me know. Give me the idea. You know, it's probably a question that I haven't had yet, and it's something that I should probably know. I want to explore. I do want to explore the world of thermal. I would like to get a couple other thermal units and just experience this world and answer questions that I might have. For viewers at home, I do understand that it could be as easy to be bitter about somebody being sent, you know, an optic. I had a gentleman recently, he was mad in my comments because he said that, you know, hardworking blue collar folks like him have to buy their own equipment. It must be nice, you know, getting stuff sent for free. And I do understand that, but you do have to understand that this stuff didn't just come for free. You know, I had to put in the work to get to the point that companies are willing to send this to me because they see value in what I'm doing, and I've learned how to benefit their company and help their company grow. With that being said, I want you to know that I do not take this lightly, the opportunity to have this stuff, and I want to use this opportunity to answer questions that I had so that I can then answer questions that you have. And ultimately, my goal is to help guide you on, is this a good device or not? Regardless of what the product is this a good product for you to have or not? Should you buy this? I understand that from somebody who, you know, maybe had an optic sent to them, it's very easy for people to say, you need thermal, or you're gonna die. I'm not under that impression. I've been shooting my entire life without thermal, and I haven't died yet, and same with about everybody out there. Is it a really cool device? Is it a really cool capability? Absolutely. If you can afford it, I think it's awesome. It's super fun. It gives you a capability that you don't have otherwise. That goes for whoever you are. If you're just maybe a wildlife enjoyer, you enjoy looking at wildlife, well, now you can do it at night. If you just keep up with all the latest and greatest gear coming out and you want to have the capability that your enemy might have in some theoretical situation, well, then you should probably have thermal. If you're a hunter, a deer hunter, or even a nighttime hunter that's going after varmints and hogs and whatnot, this is a really cool device. Deer hunters, you can scan the field, scan the woods, make sure you're not bumping anything out of there. Obviously, nighttime hunters, well, this gives you the capabilities to shoot them pigs and them coyotes at night without them knowing that you're there. Really cool device. I'm really looking forward to using this thing, and I cannot thank DNT enough for sending it out. If you've got any questions, be sure to drop those in the comments as well. I'd love to answer. If you're not already, be sure to follow me on Instagram as well. Make sure you're staying up to date on all the action going on. I'll have that link down in the description. With that being said, I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.